I know many people have been asking for what settings I use to play Valorant, so I'll just be going over everything that I use and how I set it up. I do use ReWASD for everything and not DS4 Windows, so unfortunately you won't be able to copy my exact settings on DS4 Windows, but you should get most of them. For my binds, all I did was set the corresponding keyboard buttons to the controller buttons. For example, the D-pad is set to the arrow keys, the face buttons are set to A, B, X, Y. I'll leave my config in the description if you want to have the same kind of thing or copy anything from my config at all. I have walk set to left stick like this. You go to advanced settings. On the left stick low zone, I set it to left shift, which is the walk button, and I moved the low zone all the way to the edge of the stick so it would walk unless this stick was fully pressed in. I have a shift layer set to the touchpad press, so when I click in the touchpad, all my binds will change to these, and you can see how they change here. In order to see these change, you just go up to here to show descriptions and you can see all of my binds. Here's all my binds in game. I have this set to, all of these are going to look like keyboard buttons, so I'll just say what they are on the controller. This is up on the D-pad, triangle, circle, right on the D-pad. This is all the left stick. Default is set to run. Left shift for walk, this is just the edge of the stick. Toggle walk is set to off. Jump is set to space, that's X. Crouch, that's R3. Toggle crouch is set to on because I use R3. Fire is R2, alternate fire L2. Aim down sight, I hold down L2 and I press R1 and that'll toggle the zoom level. Aim down sight and sniper rifle aim are both set to hold. Reload is set to square. Primary weapon, that's R1. Secondary weapon, that's L1. Melee weapon down on the D-pad. Equip spike, that's the options key. Drop equipped weapon or item is going to be touchpad plus L3. Inspect weapon, touchpad plus square. Use object, left on the D-pad. Use spike, same thing as the spike. Use spray is going to be touchpad plus left on the D-pad. Party push to talk is going to be touchpad plus share. Team push to talk is just share without the touchpad. Ping, touchpad plus options. For interface, the armory, this is just the home button on the controller, the PlayStation button. Open map, touchpad plus PlayStation button. Boot option 1, touchpad plus triangle. Boot option 2, touchpad plus circle. My in-game sensitivity is going to be 0.6 and my scope sensitivity multiplier is 0.7. My gyro sensitivity is 0.5 of 2 with a max acceleration value of 90 degrees per second. To make this in ReWASD, you come over here. If you copied my in-game settings, then you're going to set X and Y to 18. You're going to have the smoothing set to 1. My exact curve are these points here, so you can pause the video at any time and copy these, or you can just download my config. And my dead zone is 40, which you set over here. Click zone shape, the options button, and you can set the dead zone on low. Another important thing I did with the gyro, if you go down to preferences on the bottom right and you go to gamepads here, set gyro steering axis to yaw, so you turn the controller like this to aim. By default it's set to roll, which means you'd have to tilt the controller, which is really bad for aiming. Another important thing is I have repress the held button off, so that way when I'm holding down a button and I let go of the touchpad, it doesn't repress that button. My stick sensitivity is 2 spins per second with a standard cubic exponential curve. In ReWASD, to set that, I set my X value to 56, my Y value to 28. In the advanced settings, this is the exact curve I used. You can just eyeball it, make it however you want, and the dead zone I set was 3000. My stick sensitivity does change when I hold down L2, which I set as a shift layer here. Basically, I just hold down L2 and now the X is set to 100 and Y to 50. I did not change the curve on this though. I'll just show you how these look in game. Basically with the stick sense, this is the max sense, but if you go any lower, it drops dramatically. So I'm holding the stick about halfway and you can see my sense is super low. So that way I can be precise with the stick when I'm trying to control my crosshair placement. For the gyro, it's the same thing. When I turn it normally, I'm just going to turn around when I turn 90 degrees. So whatever I do with the gyro, it's going to be twice as fast in the game. So if I turn 45 degrees, it'll be 90 degrees. If I turn 180, it should do a 360. But I have the acceleration to where if I'm moving the controller slowly, it'll make it way slower. So if I turn 90 degrees slowly, I'll actually only turn 45 degrees in the game, so it gets cut into a fourth. but it's consistent because most of the time it feels twice as fast, and it only feels super slow whenever I'm being precise. So you can see I turned it 90 degrees and it only turned 45, but if I turn it back, I'm going to do a 180. That's it for all my settings. If you guys are wanting to learn gyro and want a tutorial on the basics of motion controls, comment below and let me know, and I'll make a video on how to aim and practice.
Flanking, flank.
One enemy remaining.
I'm so good at the game, oh my.